Welcome. This is Africa's Talking Podcast in collaboration with Impact Masters Podcasts, brought to you by Impact Masters Media here in Tanzania, Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. Thank you so much for joining us this wonderful day. And we're blessed to have one fantastic developer who has traveled all the journey from a software engineer to a product manager. One and only Paul Mandele from Tanzania. How are you, Paul?
I'm good.
You're good?
Yep.
Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure hosting you here. And one of the things that I want us to talk about keenly today is how tech ecosystem has evolved since you started developing 5-7 years ago. And one of the things that I understand is that even then, when you look at the dynamics of Africa, different countries were evolving over time, trying to learn how to build scalable products. And right now, it's happening. Yeah, so at the end of the day, what actually matters in this ecosystem is what you can do with what you know. But before we go to all those details, the most important thing that I would like to know about you, Paul, you know, a man is made of history, right?
Yeah, sure.
I know you're not a young guy, so you have a substantive history. Yeah. So tell us, who is Paul? Where do you come from in this part of Tanzania? And just go as deep as you want.
Okay. Yeah, cool. Yeah, so my name's Paul Mandele, and I was born in the southern part of Tanzania, in Mbeya. But I grew up in Iringa. Mostly. And then for the past 7-8 years, I've been living in Dar es Salaam.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm living till now.
Yeah.
So basically, I got myself in technology out of passion, as it started naturally since childhood, where I would be breaking up, say, radios.
Oh, nice.
With the interest to see what is happening behind what I hear from the radio.
Yeah.
Or I would buy a game and break it to see how it works. And then,
the Legos or which kind of game?
The brick games.
Brick game. Oh, the one that used to have some few buttons.
Yeah, so from that, then also I got an opportunity to join a tech high school. So in Tanzania, we have two types of secondary schools.
Two types of secondary school. That's interesting. Which one and which one?
Yeah, so we have the traditional ones and we have the technical ones. So the technical ones, you would study the normal subjects plus technical subjects.
Yeah.
And so I was admitted into one of the technical schools where I majored into electrical engineering and mostly focusing on electronics. Yeah, so then that was also an opportunity to learn more about technology, though it was more now into hardware and not the coding part. But then through learning that, learning the basics of technology, the logic gates, the zeros and ones, and how software communicates with the hardware. That stirred an interest to learn more about now the software or the logic that controls the hardware. And because there was not much of information and people to learn from, and then I started searching online. And that's when I got to learn about the basic scripting languages like the HTMLs. And that's where now I started into software. And I think that was around 2011. Yeah, so then started learning the basics of web programming, HTML, then CSS, then a bit of JavaScript, to add interactivity. Then I got to learn that also you need to
Let me ask this. When you're learning all these scripting languages like HTML, JavaScript and whatnot, are you in the university or just see the technical high school?
So that was after high school. When I was waiting to join university, then I started learning on my own through YouTube videos.
Nice. So how many gap years do you have between high school and university?
Around 8 months.
Yeah.
Around 8 months.
Okay. Yeah. Since back in the day.
Yeah.
Nice. Because actually in Kenya they just shortened that recently. You used to wait for 2 years, so you could go and do other stuff, and most people actually learn some of the skills they have through certification and other, joining colleges while they're at home, computer studies, things to do with CPA and whatnot. But I'm curious, Paul, your childhood, how was it like? Were you, beside, breaking down games and whatnot, what do people do in Bear? Do you do farming? How was that?
Yeah, so mostly people do farming. And also because of circumstances, I went to live in my grandfather's village. Of course, that was because my father died when I was 5, and so.
Sorry about that. Man.
Yeah, it's fine. So
when you were 5, that's too young to lose a dad.
Yeah, so that led to the family moving to.
That is your mom, your siblings going back to the village.
Yeah, going back.
Where
to
did
the
you
village.
used to live before?
Was Mbeya Urban.
There's Mbeya Urban, there's Mbeya Village. It's not too far away. How many kilometers?
Around 800 kilometers.
From Mbeya Urban to Mbeya Village.
The regions used to be very big, but now they've broken them down.
There is a couple.
Yes, yeah.
So there are more towns now.
Yeah.
I see. So also, it's true to say that even infrastructure-wise, centers, towns, it's growing as everything else is growing across, I would say Africa, because also it's the same thing with Kenyan devolution. And I also understand in Tanzania, they're trying to figure out how can we spread the services across the country. And do you think this helps because also it comes with electricity, things to do with internet and fiber optic cable? Is this the same in Tanzania?
Yeah, it's almost the same.
Yeah.
First, it starts with power, that is electricity. So the more villages are electrified, then other services move closer to the villages, because then if you have electricity, then maybe people start buying TVs, and then they learn about smart devices, then start buy smartphones, and then once they buy smartphones, they get connected, and so other services and expand from there.
Yeah, and it's also easy to open small business.
Yeah, sure.
In the meantime, so that actually makes a lot of sense. Because when we're talking about this, is how can we go to the next level when it comes to development? Because I also understand as much as in Mbeya, these developments are coming. I'm sure maybe there are a couple of other places in Tanzania where maybe it's yet to be electrified.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't have access to amenities like cyber cafes.
Yeah, sure.
And even high school, because if you want to introduce computing in high school, you need electricity and you need internet, right?
Yeah.
So would you say these are some of the things that actually would now that we are in the digital world, actually it's not like digital world is the future, we're already there.
Yeah.
And we want everyone to be digital knowledgeable or digital conversant of what is happening.
Yeah.
So would you say these would come a long way, even if it's the company, the government policy to ensure that all the schools are electrified, we have internet across the country?
Yeah. So I think and nowadays, internet is not like a luxury. It's more like a social service, because then with banks and main services being offered digitally, then internet also becomes like a social service. The same you would classify schools, hospitals, because then for you to be able to interact, to be productive, and to get access to most of the services in short time conveniently, then you need internet, and so it becomes more of a social service. And that's the more the government pushes to electrify villages, then the same should be to connect the villages on internet.
Yeah, I like that. It becomes a basic need, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So, Paul, the technical school that you went to, was it still in Mbeya Urban or
no?
Was it
was in Iringa.
Iringa.
Yeah.
How far are they apart?
Around 300 kilometers.
And how do someone get to, say someone is in Bear right now and they wants to become Paul or even better than Paul, and they think maybe this is one of the ways to like access, better education through technical school. How does someone qualify to go there?
Yeah, so unfortunately, the technical schools, the way they're structured, because they're few, and so to get admission to the schools, you don't have much control about that. So all they do is within the structure, for the general schools, there are special schools. Those are the ones that the top performers go.
Okay.
So the second level of performers, most of them will be distributed into technical schools, and then others will be distributed into normal schools. So they consider mostly the performance around science subjects.
This actually sounds like the way, using my small knowledge in Kenya. So there are national schools, provincial schools, and there are district schools, or what we are calling now district, and then I don't know if it's district or sub-county.
Yeah.
Because before they were called district, now there is a county, wherever, county structure. So they're calling them sub-county, then county schools, and then national schools. And then they're like, the schools, right? And there are a few of them. So is that is the same structure, right?
Yeah,
so that means you have to perform really well in primary school.
Yeah, of course. Especially with the technical schools, I think there are only about 5 of them
in the whole country.
Yeah.
And Tanzania is really big. The population is like how many people?
Around 60 million.
60. Yeah, that's You're not so popular, but the country is big in terms of size and square kilometer. So you have to really to be one school takes like how many students per year?
Around per year around 300.
300. So you have to be in top 1,500 people.
Yeah, of course.
Chief. Now I know the levels that you're talking about here. Yeah. So that means you really performed really well in high school.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Were you top 10, top 5, top 1?
I think I was around top 5.
In the whole country?
Not in the whole country, but at least region-wise.
Oh, region-wise. Yeah. That's good, man. Congratulations. And it's good to have you here so that you can share your story with other guys who are maybe in the village and they wanna dare to dream and build, because Africa will be built by everyone. We have to put all our work and all our intelligence together so that we can be able to succeed. So you joined technical school.
Yes.
Do you find other top cream de la cream kind of students?
Yeah.
Did you shine there, or how was it? How was that transition? Because I'm coming from I'm big in Bear, right?
Yeah.
And then you come with other guys from all over the country. How is that for you?
Yeah. So unfortunately, I didn't go the traditional path because I grew up with interest on tinkering stuff, and then going to a technical school to me was an opportunity now to explore and more than shining in terms of being a top performer. So I was spending most of my time learning more about the tech stuff and
more of hardware or software. Hardware.
Yeah. So and that way I became sort of a techie guy, because then it was around the same time when people started owning satellite dishes. Because then adventurous trying out stuff, and then I got to learn about the satellite dishes, configuring them, and so started helping teachers when they buy the satellite dishes. We go configure for them, and then they introduce you to a friend, and then during
word
weekends, during weekends we go out, go help them configure the satellite dishes. You get some money, and so that way I was spending more of my time into tech stuff, and then also I got into so in technical schools also there was an initiative, especially in our school, it was called a group called Maintenance Brigade, where it's a team of students who show interest in working on technical stuff, so would be distributed according to your interests. And so in our school, all the maintenances we were doing them internally. So, be it electrical installations, be it fixing electronics at school, being even building chairs that we used to sit on. We were building all of them in the school. Yeah. So I was also part of that. So that way, I was spending most of my time working on the technical stuff.
Yeah. So it was more practical for you than it was theoretical, right?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, nice. So you're making money. And young guys, when they make money, sometimes they lose focus in school. How are you able to maintain, I'm making a side hustle here where I'm making a few bucks, and then I'm also studying and I'm expected to pass. I know maybe given that you're top like 1,500 in the country, there's that pressure to perform again just to go to the next level, right? So how did you manage both?
Yeah, so first of all, I was pushing myself to be to go extra mile.
Yeah.
So I was not only waiting for a teacher to come and teach. So because I know this is what I have to cover, then I would use my spare time to cover my lessons even beyond what the teacher has taught. And that way, when I get a gig, then I can also spend time on the gig without affecting my performance. And luckily also, because sometime I used to be very busy in working on the gigs. At least I got a second grade in my high school.
Now the technical school?
Yeah.
Nice. So the secret here is that to learn ahead. And when you're doing it more practical, it was easier for you because most of the things you could see them. So even by the time you go to the book, you understand what is happening.
Yeah, sure.
I think that's a very good tip for someone who is trying to perform in the Tanzanian education system and to make it really big. Do you think education helped you understand tech more better, or you could have learned it your own way?
Yeah, so I think I could have learned more on my own. All I needed is guidance, and so that was the biggest role that school helped me. So sort of creating guides like this is what you have to learn, this relates to this, instead of going, let's say, on YouTube where there's plenty of content, you don't know which one to consume and why. And so I think that's the main role that education played. But then I think schools needs to be rethought because then they should play more of the role of guiding and not pushing students to just take what they're learning at school, but more of guiding them and for them to go learn on their own.
That makes a lot of sense because right now there's this discussion that is going across actually the world, like is university important? I can learn most of this stuff on my own. There are books online, there are tutorials, there are videos. And I think what you have shared is really important. Like school gives you a structure or what you need to focus on. And basically, were you learning these on your own, or are you part of a community? How did that work?
Yeah, so during high school, I was more learning on my own. And interesting, of course, because we didn't have access to computers at school. And so the way I learned the basics of computers was during holidays. I would find some money, go to an internet cafe, just start playing with the computer, pressing any button. When I fail, I call the attendant, help me here. And that's how I got to learn. And my first email, I opened it at an internet cafe.
How old are you?
Yes.
How old are you?
I think I was around 16.
Nice. Yeah, so when did you get your first laptop, like, or your computer that you say this one, I can just configure it, I can install things and whatnot?
Yeah, I think I got my first laptop in 2014.
2014. Nice. Paul.
Yeah.
Now you are here, you have finished your technical school, you are second in the country. Do you get invited to a university or what happens?
Yeah, so after that you go to advanced level, second level of high school.
Okay. Oh, this sounds like high school where we are from 5 and 6.
Yeah. So the technical school was Form 1 to Form 4, and then you have Form 5 and 6.
Is the advanced one?
Yes, the advanced one.
Okay.
Yeah. So I went to advanced secondary school where I did physics, chemistry, and mathematics. And then after that, that's when you get admitted to university.
So you, in Form 5 and 6, you just focused on 3 sciences?
Yes.
And that's it?
Yeah.
Nice. How intensive were they? Like, were the teachers really up to speed with the tech?
No.
They just taught you the fundamentals?
Yeah, it was intensive, but like you have to struggle on your own. The teachers would just give you a bit of guidance, but the most part of it, you have to really push yourself.
Do you think education system, as you said earlier, of course you said, needs to be revised so that it's more like, it gives you the more practical aspect of learning rather than theoretical, because there's like 90% of theory and then 10% of, even the way it is tested, it's tested more on theory than practical. So maybe that's something needs to be revised.
Yeah, sure.
And what else?
So that's first thing. The second thing is the mode of teaching. So instead of it being one directional where a teacher is the one sharing knowledge, then it should be more interactive, like more of conversations, more of discussions, more of two-sided discoveries. So if a student would go and learn about something new, they come share, even challenge the teachers. I think that way, that's how learning happens, because it becomes natural than just pushing yourself to take whatever the teacher is sharing.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense actually, because now it becomes even more fun. People are more curious. Thanks for sharing that, Paul. You joined which university now after completing your high school? Did you perform really well in the advanced high school?
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't perform very well.
Why?
That's because I was spending most of my time
making money.
And making money.
Yeah.
And so I didn't do well. So that forced me to, instead of going to a bachelor's, that forced me to do a diploma before that. And so I got admitted into one of the colleges in Iringa. It's called Ruaha, where I did a diploma in computer sciences. But because that was in me, that culture of wanting to do practical things, even when I was there. I remember that was my first time to start a community where then, because I felt like what we were learning was more theoretical, I started a community where...
Which community was this?
We didn't have a clear name.
Oh, but you could meet.
Yes. Yeah. So what we were doing basically is on weekends, we would gather together and then at some point call experts, let's say a seasonal engineer in a telecom company.
People who are in the industry.
They would come, share the experiences. Would also structure some short courses around areas that people feel the need to learn more. And so that way I was still again balancing what I learned at college and the
practical part of it.
Yeah. So and we saw value in that, because then we saw people getting jobs just because of the practical aspect that they got from the community.
Yes.
And even it reached a point where the lecturers and professors would tell people like, if you want to learn more about this, you go attend the community events organized by these guys. And that way we saw that it was an impactful thing, because even the university got to see the difference from what we're doing.
Even performance actually improved, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so it's good you're talking about this. I'm so big on community. I've been doing them for the last 12 years, since I was second year. And I've seen it change the dynamics in the tech ecosystem. And even the reason why we're here in Tanzania majorly is to actually support that movement where people can have a community, can gather maybe over the weekend or in the evenings and maybe learn one or two things. And also industry or startups or companies should be able to support these, because at the end of the day, there's this notion of, there are not enough good engineers.
Yeah, of course.
And the only way because tech changes, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, tech changes very fast. Like even as you're talking here, maybe there's a new language that is being released somewhere.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah.
And it can take over everything, whereby now what you learned might become really fast, obsolete. And the only way for a tech person to catch up, unlike medicine or law or anything else that exists out there, is to gather and see what has been happening. You share what you have been tinkering with, I share what I've been tinkering with, and then if I have questions, then my curiosity is being, there's an appetite to like go and check out what is happening in the industry. And also building projects through hackathons.
Yeah, sure.
So I don't know how is the tech ecosystem, especially across now that you're talking, there was a community in Iringa. Now you're in Da, right?
Yeah.
So is that still going on in Iringa?
Yeah, unfortunately, the organizers went apart. So after I came to Dar es Salaam, and few friends went to other colleges.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
No worries, man. Yeah.
And then it was hard to maintain the community because we are the ones who were the vision bearers, and so others left it go.
Yeah.
But because it was a passion, even after coming to Dar es Salaam, I joined a tech hub where then I was part of a community. And then in the
Which tech hub was this?
Was Buni Hub.
No, Buni Hub.
Yes.
Yeah. So Buni Hub is like the home. Guys, if you don't know Swahili, Buni means innovation, right? It's like innovation hub.
Yeah.
So Buni is a home of innovation across Tanzania.
Yeah.
And they have offices only in Dar.
Yeah, they have offices only in Dar, though now they're planning to
expand.
To expand, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that would be great, because also the capital city it's already moved, right?
Yeah, it's
the parliament is no longer in Dar es Salaam.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and actually Tanzania is wide, like so big.
Yeah,
when you think to go from one part of Tanzania to the other, it's kind of something that you might not really even think about, because it's too far from one end to the other.
Yeah, of course.
So you joined Buni Hub, and did you find other developers maybe across the country?
Yeah, so I joined Buni Hub, then there I met the developers who have come from other parts of the country. And then, of course, most of them would be university students around the time, or even some would come on holidays who are studying abroad. So they have also friends studying abroad who come for holidays, and then we get to meet and integrate as part of the community.
Yeah. And that is still going on, or?
Yeah, it's still going on, though the focus on community is
shaky.
It's shaky, yeah.
Yeah. Running communities is kind of interesting, because I don't know if it's the same case here, but what I've seen across the spectrum is companies need to play a big role, because most communities actually, they don't make money, right?
Yeah, of course.
And when people meet, maybe they need resources. There's some guys who are really talented and skilled. Maybe they need laptops, or maybe books. I don't know, or maybe subscription to one of these course on I don't know, Udacity or Pluralsight, or any other resource that is needed.
Yeah, of course.
Also, maybe snacks, things to do with swag. So in Tanzania, beside Buni providing maybe the space, do tech companies actually support tech events?
Not really. Yeah, because even with the first community that I just shared back that we started back in Iringa, the community was driven by just individuals, members of the community.
So you spend your own side hustle money to like
so
support
when
it.
we need something, we'll just let it known to the community, and then people contribute.
Yeah.
Even when we need, let's say we have a session and we have to open up, let's say, a computer to go through some parts for people to understand how things work, then we would find someone with a computer, he brings it, and then we work on it. Yeah.
So it took, and that's why even when the leaders dispersed and went to do different things in different cities, it just died. And by the way, it happens also not only here, but I've heard a couple of those kind of interesting stories. And this is a message. This is the first time I'm giving this message.
Okay.
The companies in different markets. I think every time they're thinking about budgets, especially if they depend on tech in one or the other, they should be able to see how they can support the tech specifically, because everything right now, they say software is eating the world.
Yeah, of course.
It is doing that literally, because there is no simple business or no simple engagement that actually tech has not impacted.